Hey guys, what's going on? Sorry, Ruby's jerking me around over here. Ruby, can you come please, just for a minute? I think she's gonna let her manners go out the window in a second. I did like a 20-something minute video a while ago, and this dog lunges and jerks the camera out of my hand because I can't hold it with the left hand yet, and cut the video off. Boom! Camera hit the ground. Oh my God, it's horrible. So anyway, look at those clouds. Isn't that crazy? I know it's a little different, but we had to find a place to do this. I wanted to come on and say, I wanted to come on and say, what do we think about, the Sebastian Rogers case, right? The missing teen out of Hendersonville, Tennessee. He went missing on February 26, 2024. I mean, that's the date they changed it to. It was the 26th first because his mother kept saying Sunday, the day before he went missing. Sunday, the day before he went missing. Sunday, the day before he went missing. I don't know where he's at. Don't you dare do it again. No, ma'am. She almost just jerked that camera right out of my hand again. No, ma'am. Your manners. It's late at night. No, ma'am. Your manners. Thank you. You better wag your tail. Have manners. It's late. Anyway, I don't want to wake anybody up. I don't think they can hear me, but that's some kind of delivery guy. See the sign on the top of his car? I haven't seen that. Look at that bright old sign on the top of the car. I think there's a pizza place or something. Who knows? But I didn't even know they did that anymore. That's pretty cool. But no, think about that. What about this date change? How does she react to that? I wondered, because she always said Sunday, the day before he went missing, and then they changed the date to the 25th. So what does she say now? What does she say now? Sunday, the day he went missing? I agree with the popo, or I don't agree with the popo. And Sunday is the day before he went missing. I've always wondered what Katie thought about that. And I always wondered what Sebastian accused him of, accused Chris of. And then, Seth just spoke out, right, on some kind of live. I haven't listened or heard it, but I got enough details from y'all guys, thank you, to really fill me in. I don't know, hold on, I don't want that light. Follow me, it's gonna ricochet and blur the screen. It's a lot clearer, right, guys? You gotta admit, huh? I think this is a lot better. This new camera, I think, is a whole lot better. And I got another one coming too, so I think it'll be a lot lighter and easier, more durable and portable. We'll see. But this one is doing really good, because normally you can't see clouds like that, especially not lights like that far away. That is a long way away. But, I mean, it is what it is, right? I kind of wondered about that Sunday thing, because I was really wondering, is there some kind of, what changed it? Right? What made them change the date in this case? I know we pushed for that hard. And it's kind of like I always wonder why they said they last saw this child in the area. And I think now I really understand that. But I think what they mean by that is after he left the roadhouse. I've always said, I think they have a clip from around the store somewhere. They have a clip, okay? And this is the one clip that they've never let, and it's never leaked. They've never let it go. I mean, he's told us before he had two. We know of one that's the flat side. It leaked, but this one has never leaked. And I've always wondered, is this the one that we need, right? I want him to release it, but I don't, right? I don't want it to hinder the case. But I always wonder, what is that clip they have, right? And the locals tell me the same thing. They got a magic clip. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I've heard this so many times and never really talked about it, but I'm like, okay, everybody is saying this now. All the locals around here. And it's like, it's heating up, right? I think everybody feels that. And I didn't listen to Seth, like I said. I heard a couple of points that y'all sent to me, like either comments or emails. I think that's good. I think he understands, because I think law enforcement let him know, remember, right at the birthday last year. Because that's when he was renewed, right, by law enforcement. I'm back on their side 150%, he said. So that's huge, because he wasn't even 10% before that day. And I always wondered, okay, well, what did they tell him that made him have that feeling? Because now it's at the point, it seems like, to where, I don't want to step on any toes here, but he's kind of like, hey, why won't you release this? I know you got something, right? Release it, let somebody else pick it up. But the thing is they're not releasing it. They're not coming. The sheriff's office, their self, like Eric Craddock or Ken, the ones I listen to, the only ones I listen to in this case, really, besides FBI and Secret Service, of course, is them too. And they're not talking. And that should scare up quite a few people here. Not us, I'm just saying. And the way the warrants have been flying a year afterwards, that's crazy to me. That means this case is nowhere near cold. I think it's just like Summers is heating up too. Look at this. Something is going on here. I don't know if they've connected something or connected a dot or what, but both of these cases, go look at the update for Summer Wells on the police, on the LE database. It's talking about these new things that they're doing in the Summer Wells case. It's crazy, because it's like they got something after all this time. And how? Do they have somebody now that's a new person, like a Pat Brown or something, that's working with them, that's found something different, right? Because you know that they send all this stuff to everybody that they know can help, and they're trying to get anybody, right? And sometimes that one little thing they're missing, one of these profilers might catch it, right? And then say, well, look, it's right here. And then they go, oh my gosh, now you put that over here, holy moly. And then everybody freaks out, warrants start flying. And it's like, okay, now we gotta get to the next one. And they get to that next hump. But something here made a hump and a hump. Usually it's a hump 4, 5, 6 months down the road, another hump or an arrest. This one was a hump, less than 2 months, a hump again. And it's like, okay, now what's next? And I don't know, just something is going on. And I mean, the problem is there's so much out here now that I think that once people like all these YouTubers get a hold of it, they start seeing things that law enforcement didn't see, right? Little things sometimes, like somebody standing off to the left in a picture, right, that we found here on our little baby channel. But something like that sometimes is a click that they needed. And then everybody's running 100 miles an hour in there, and we don't see that because it's behind closed doors, and they don't want us to know this. The detective always, we always thought there was one detective on the case, but I know that somebody else was looking into this case, and the reason I say that is because go read the last thing. The Tennessee office FBI guy, right, that I talk about, that I think is going to solve this case. I do think he will. He's got a pretty good success record. Something triggered it for him to say that. When FBI says something like that, I listen, because I try to understand, what is he saying and how powerful really is it? It starts with the question and ends with the question, but at the end, the question got bigger. So it started out small and got bigger, right? We know that's what they're saying. Evidently, the lie started out small and they got bigger. That's how I see it. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but he said the question marks grew as the search went on, which telling me that the lies grew as the search went on. And with that, I have to look at the only way lies are growing is if someone's telling them. The question mark only grew because of what somebody was saying. Well, we all know there's only 3 people here that had any say-so. Katie, Chris, Seth. Well, Seth was gone and Chris was gone. Katie. It's all on Katie. Like I said, that Eric Craddock let us know that morning, guys. He didn't believe that this kid didn't, he's not going to say that this kid didn't have shoes on. That's so important, and we didn't grab that. Why? Why did we not grab it? Why? I don't know why. It's just we didn't early, right? Why didn't we see some of these pictures early? Why did people scare? Why were they holding these photos, right? I don't know. There's a reason behind everything to me. I don't know what that reason is. But I know that things are getting hot. Feels like they are to me. Something is closing in. A wall is closing in somewhere. Which we knew this would happen eventually. When people don't get cleared, their life starts to fall apart like a dot. It's kind of like a sanction on another country, right? Like we sanctioned Russia over this war. Look how long it's taken for this, a couple of years for them to really start hurting their economy, right? It's kind of like that here, but a little smaller scale, of course. But when you're not cleared and word gets around, it's hard, because think if you owned a company and you really needed a crane operator. I don't know, maybe he's a good crane operator. I don't know, maybe he is. I'm sure he worked for St. Jude's. He's got to be a pretty good crane operator. At least give him that credit, right? I mean, but he goes and applies and they see that. And they think, oh yeah, that's the guy whose stepson's missing. Everybody's pointing a finger. He's lying on Nancy Grace. You know, that's just what I'm trying to say. He's still not cleared, and then it's like, okay, we can't hire him. You wouldn't hire him either. I wouldn't either if I owned the company. I mean, if he owned the company, he wouldn't hire himself, I'm sure. He vets everything, right? So he would damn sure wouldn't hire himself. He's not cleared in a case of a missing teen with autism. That's not the biggest smile in the world. They ain't look for him one damn day. I mean, I gotta be honest. They didn't go to a vigil. They didn't do nothing. But they might show up to this. Hey, maybe, who knows, right? We might light up the highway. They might step out the house if they're even living there. I mean, we don't know that. We don't know nothing. I don't know. And that's the thing, is we got to wonder now why. One thing I really wonder right now, you know, one thing that really was a red flag to me, like, I feel if somebody knows a little bit more than they're letting out, and it's okay too. I get it. I support it 1,000%. I don't think anything should leak that would jeopardize the case. But I think Seth Rogers might know a little more. You know, he did kind of protect the Proudfoots' home a little bit in that speech, evidently. Now, I haven't heard it, but allegedly from what I hear, it's alleged until I go listen to it, if, you know, if I have time. But did he say, don't go by that house or anything, and don't harass them or whatever, right? To keep us from getting in trouble. I don't know if he was saying to keep people out of trouble, because the way Chris is, if people show up, evidently he tries to sue or whatever. He doesn't win anything, but he tries. And he drags it out, and it ends up costing him more in the end, which I think a couple of YouTubers taught him that, right? I think they taught him that lesson. Hey, don't file on me. Don't sue me, because you're going to lose and pay my bill. Hey, they lost and they paid those lawyer bills, so I think he understands it, right? Where was that? Oh, I thought it was a snake. I was like, oh my God, we don't go there. But anyway, I know, God dang, it got dark. Uh-oh, let me see if I can get the clouds again. There you go. But anyway, we got to think about this a little bit harder, because I'm wondering now, man, I don't want to say it yet. But I think something might happen. I do. In December, I do think something might go down. I think that the way that this thing has gone, if we look at, you got to remember, guys, Eric Craddock had just got thrown into that job and all this mix. You know, look at that, right? I compared it the other day, I think, in a video to George Bush on 9/11. He was thrown in there and smacked right dab in the middle of a thing that we had never seen in our country before. Horrible thing on 9/11. Monsters and terrorists, right? He got thrown into that. Eric Craddock got thrown into this mix. Didn't know it was going to end up being one of the largest cases, probably one of the largest cases in Tennessee history, really. I would be comfortable saying that, you know. At least the second largest if Summer wasn't first, because Summers is still going after all these years. So yeah, Summer probably first, Sebastian second, but still, that's a close run-in. The main thing is they're both still being talked about. Their faces are still being shown. That's what matters, guys. That's all that matters here, is that we keep advertising their face. That's why we want to do this, right? We're not doing it just to light everything up green for good and leave it, you know. We don't know how long it'll last for sure, but at least every one of those posters will have his face on it. You know, and somebody will see it driving by it and at least know. And that's what matters, right? We keep it alive. We keep a fight for it, no matter what. Do I think some pieces are being put together? Yeah, I think they're already together. I think law enforcement has a whole lot more than what we think, a whole lot more. I know some might disagree, But I bet there's a few out there you could ask that would tell you at this point they feel the same. Vinny just covered this case again. It's moving, I'm telling you. Something's going on. When one of the big wigs cover it, it's because something's going on here. You know, I always said I wanted to see Katie and Chris back on Nancy Grace. Man, wouldn't that be something? Man, or Dr. Phil, one or the other. Probably mop the floor with him, but you know, who knows? You know, we don't have, there's everyone's innocent until proven guilty in the court of law, right? We know that in this case. There's nobody, they haven't said anything yet, but don't think, when they're not cleared, somebody's being side-eyed. I don't know who. I guess we can guess, but allegedly my guess would be Katie. But, I mean, she knows that's coming. She's not dumb. She knows that she's the last one with this child, and that's going to be, just like any of these cases, that's how it always is at first. But the thing that bothered me the very most about it is that they didn't come out immediately, right? Like we'd have come out immediately, oh my God, hey, he's autistic. His favorite color is green. He kind of has a little bit different run. It's distinctive. He kind of puts his arm back, you know, like that character. He's a good kid. He's smart. You know, I don't know. He might come to you. He might run. But please, you know, if you see him, just call 911. Please, please, please. Here's his face. Here's the newest picture I have. I took this at the restaurant or at the bowling alley. Here you go. Here's a new picture. Bam. Let's see how quick that was. That's how quick they could have done that. I did that, what, 30 seconds? What the heck? See, little things like this are the red flags. The reason that people feel this way is she knows this is coming. She's not dumb, I'm telling you. But I don't think she was ready for law enforcement not to believe her in the beginning. Like, to contradict what she said the next morning, on that foggy morning. You know, the guy leading the search team, you know, Ken, what did he say? We don't know what this kid's wearing. This weather's coming. We got to get him quick. Well, I thought they said he was in black sweatshirt and black sweatpants, right? So he would have been warm. He might not have been really warm, but he would have been warm. But your buddy right next to you just said right before that the mother said he left with no shoes. The sheriff said, I'm not going to say the boy didn't have shoes on. I can't say that he didn't have shoes on. So I think he knows a whole lot more, and he told us right then and there, in his own way, because he was new. Most sheriffs would have never said that. And I think because he was new, just like you don't hear most of them being brutally honest either. Like I said in the beginning, what did he say? I'm not the brightest guy in this room. I'm open to anything. Give me suggestions, please, if they can help. He was asking for help. Hey, most men don't do that in his line of work. They got to be the leaders, right, and step up. I got this. He was asking, hey, I'm open for anything. Hey, that's enough to me to tell me that he wants his kid found. Right? Some may not believe that because of past things in his life, but I don't think that. And I think when this thing is solved and when these arrests happen, he's going to be right there to give his speech with a smile on his face. And most likely Ken going to be standing right next to him. I think them two together are smarter than the average bear. The older, the wiser helps the young, right? The young mind that knows all the technology. The old mind that has all the wisdom, that sees right through lies when people lie to him. He's seen it hundreds of times. Craddock's young. He hasn't seen it as many times as Ken has, right? I think that's the difference here, is that old man has seen enough people lie to him. And I think that's why he said that next morning. I think that's why he said that after that landfill search. I don't think that, I don't know if he meant to say it the way he did, but that's how he said it, right? We're disappointed in the outcome of the search of the landfill. We were expecting closure. I think, look at what they said early on. Look at what they said there. That's day 8 or 9. I mean, come on. We have to start putting the puzzle pieces together. But I think what really threw them off was then they were like, okay, how did this boy get out of this home by day 3 and 4? And then I think, okay, we got to try to use anything. And I think that's when they started asking, what kind of technology can we use? And that's when somebody finally, by what, day 12, they had them crazy high-tech goddamn gadgets in that backyard, filming that common area. Think about it. Filming the same area as the flashlight video or the trash truck or all the lies we've heard about the video. The one that's still not debunked because it hasn't been released. If it was debunked, it'd be released. We know that. Just like the last one was that they grabbed up with their PI, remember? For 15 grand. A man walking his dog, poor guy. He became famous, didn't he? He didn't even know he was famous. Think about it. That poor guy didn't even know he was being talked about. Probably till about a week after, when it was everywhere. Then he became famous overnight. He probably told his dog, "You don't get a biscuit tonight. You're ever talking about you." Oh man, some of this is just crazy to me. I just didn't understand it. There's a lot I don't understand. Why would you brag about whacking this kid because he didn't have his belt on? Why would you brag about throwing his toys away the way you did? All those things that he said now are just tearing him apart. Because why? Because now everybody looks at him and is like, "You're a monster, dude," because of what he said and the lies he told. All those things catch up to you. What did I say in the beginning of this case? Just give it a year or two, like Chris Crawford says, it's going to be studied for years. Well, your timeline's almost up, buddy. It's almost 2 years, okay? So, was the truth going to come out now? We're finally going to get an arrest at the 2-year mark or before? I don't know. But he said it'd be studied for years. Why? Who says that? And you know another thing? I had a 10-rule list and I forgot it. I wrote it on a bright orange piece of paper. And I had 10 things I wanted to ask, 10 questions I want to ask him. Another one is, I said it before, I did a video on it a long time ago, because remember when Seth went into that house and he saw the slide-ons in the room and he saw all his stuff there and he saw his phone on the counter or wherever the phone, the lies about the phone. It was either in the dining room or it was on the kitchen table or kitchen island. There's no truth to that. We don't really know what a phone is. Law enforcement's not telling us that. I don't know if they're telling us the truth, because they're not telling us the truth about the flashlight video either. But the thing is, when we really sit back and look at this, in the beginning of this, Chris Proudfoot, the stepfather to Sebastian Rogers, that was allegedly not supposed to have been home or even in the area, walked up to Seth Rogers, the biological father of Sebastian Rogers, and said, "What are you going to do if it goes south? Or what are you going to do if it goes sideways?" However he said it. Why in God's name would somebody say that to a biological father when he's just learning that his son is missing? Who says that? Who does that? Really? The thing is sometimes we have to really think about who we're going to talk to. And if we talk to them, what we're going to say to them, right? Like, y'all know that I have an opportunity right now to talk to Chris Crawford. I do. He's given the okay. If I give him my contact information, he'll get a hold of me about the signs. But my problem is I'm hard to do is that, how do you talk to him, right? That's what I'm trying to deal with right now. How do I speak to this man? Right? I'm going to ask him, can I put signs in your yard for your stepson? I shouldn't have to ask that, right? I really shouldn't. It shouldn't matter what the signs look like. You know, that's what really hit me is because I was in communication with somebody else. I already let y'all know that. And they were helping me to try to find out, because I wanted the okay, right? I want the okay. I thought it would come really easy. I didn't think it would be, I need to see the signs, inspect the signs, I need to vet all. You know what? You talk about vetting a sign, bro. Why don't you vet yourself? Right? Vet yourself, man. You get mad when people try to vet you, but you want to vet everything else. You want to vet a sign for your stepson? That my hard-earned sweat and blood and tears, money? Oilfield work ain't easy, guys. It's rough. I spent the majority of my money on this. I only asked a little help at the end, and I knew I shouldn't have, but I did. But think about that. That would be like you making a whole bunch of signs for someone, missing child, and you ask, "Hey, can I put some in your yard?" You shouldn't even have to ask. But still, all in all. And then you ask, and then it's like, you want a full Inspector Gadget on a damn neon sign? That's where I'm at right now. I'm stuck right there, because I'm thinking, why in God's name, when you've just said, yes, fill my yard up with signs for Sebastian Rogers. Please fill my yard up. Why wouldn't that be the first thing you respond? Oh my God, thank you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for trying to light up a highway for my stepson to come home. Thank you. Thank all of you. That's what he should have said. Thank everybody in the Rich and Ruby family and everybody helping with us. Right? He can try to come in here, but the thing is that he can't tell me the things he tells other people. He can't come at me with, well, you're just making money off your channel. I say bullshit to that. Go find me where I've made anything or even taken anything or even cashed a check that I got. None of that I've done. Not a dollar. Yeah, I asked y'all a little help on this one at the end because I got hurt, of course. Couldn't work the extra overtime. So yeah, I did ask for a little help. But I don't make money. It's not going to the Rich and Ruby channel. That's why I had to set it up the way I did. Because that's not linked to the channel. Right? We don't want to make money here. We just want to find these kids and get the truth. And that's what made me upset. I'm sorry, it upset me because I feel like it shouldn't have been that. It should have been like, oh my God, you know what? Thank you, Rich and Ruby, and all your channel and all your close family channel friends and family for wanting to fill our yard with y'all's hard-earned money. Why didn't we get that? Right? What was y'all have said? Fill my dang yard up, right? I forgot earmuffs, ladies. Grandkids, kids. Sorry. It just frustrates me. I don't get like this very often, and that's not what I wanted to do in this video. I wanted to come out and really try to prove the point of what took you so long to talk in the beginning. Why didn't you come out day one begging? Why didn't you go to any of the light-ups? Nothing. Why didn't you go to any of that? Why didn't you beg for this child early on? Why didn't you give us pictures of his real age up front when you had him in your phone? At least you had him eating. Why would you do that? Right? Why did you do these things? Really, that's what I want to know, because that's not normal. You didn't see Riley Strand's mom doing that. I played her clip. My God, she could barely stand up. But she was right there in front of that camera, wasn't she? She was using any second she could get to talk about her son, Riley. He's my best friend. He's our best friend. He brought us together. I know we're broken families, but we're here. We're here for him. My baby, I want him to come home. We didn't see that. We saw that from Seth Rogers. We didn't see that from Katie and Chris. And I know Chris is a stepdad, so if he didn't do it, hey, you know what? I get it. He's a stepdad, but the mom should have done it. Katie should have done it. And those hard questions that I would have to ask before I could even really talk to the man, he's going to hang up. He's not going to answer those questions. He's not going to answer me to, what did Sebastian accuse you of? He's not going to answer me that. I know that. He's never told nobody those answers. I don't need an inspection. I don't need a sign to be vetted that has a picture of Sebastian and a $50K reward from the FBI. I didn't put anything on this thing that's fake. I wouldn't do that. I've never done that. Never done that in my life. That's where I'm stuck. And I'm stuck with what he told. Grown men don't tell grown men that about their son. What are you going to do if it goes sideways or south? I mean, I understand his frustrations, Seth's frustrations on that. I totally understand that. I would be frustrated too. I would be more about her sticking a camera in my face when I walked in with a picture of him. Because then she probably didn't know that Roadhouse footage was going to leak. And then we were going to see her taking pictures and see her acting odd in there. Strange. Like, why didn't she show that picture? Why didn't she tell them, get the picture from the Roadhouse and show my son? Like, here he is now. Because when you look at the Roadhouse footage, once it leaked and we saw that, and then you look at pictures of Sebastian that she put out, like the yellow shirt one, the one I've been trying to post lately to make a point. My God, he looked like two different kids. Two totally different kids. My gosh. You know, you see the one where he's holding the tennis shoes and you think, that compared to the little yellow one? Huh. Wow. Only if. Why? Why wasn't it the older picture first? Doesn't make sense. If she didn't have one, why didn't she ask Seth? I guarantee you Seth had one, probably from the last time Sebastian was at his house. or they went fishing or something. I'm sure he had a more recent picture. Katie had a more recent picture. She just didn't post them. Why? Those are the questions I'm stuck with. And this is what makes it hard to communicate. And I have to really think about it, because I have to think about y'all too. What would y'all do, right? What would y'all do in this situation? Would y'all talk to Chris? Give me a 1. Would you not talk to him? Give me a 2. And you know what? I'll leave it up to y'all, because I do trust y'all. So y'all let me know if I should talk to him, right? That's what I'm going to leave it at. I'll do it if y'all believe in and I should. If y'all believe in me enough to do it, I'll do it. But it's going to be tough questions I'm going to ask. I'm not going to ask those other questions. I'm not a news media, right? I mean, yeah, I have my media license, but no, I'm not. I have my press pass, but that's not what I'm here for. I mean, it's going to be tough questions that he's never been asked before, or he probably has been that he's never answered. Because to me, it's not about, does he need, I don't need Inspector Gadget to inspect a sign, I'm sorry. I think that people should, you know, once we get the prototype out here, hopefully today, I was hoping to get it tonight, but, you know, I got one that I did, but I don't really want to show that one, because I can't, you know, I'm not good at really, I got it close to where it's supposed to be, everything. I might show it later if we don't get rain. I don't think we are. I think it might blow by us. But anyway, we had planned on doing a fire chat. I got everything ready for it. But you know, I was so frustrated earlier. I was thinking about these things, and I was like, man, do I call this guy? And what do I do? And I'm thinking, you know, I don't know if it's going to go well. He's probably going to end up hanging up anyway, and it's going to be a waste of time. Then I'm going to have to give out contact information to do this, and I'm private with that stuff, and I'm sure he would respect that anyway. But you know, I don't know. I'm just at that point now to where I don't know which way to go with it. So that's why I said, y'all let me know. 1, if I call him. 2, if I don't. And I trust y'all. So we'll see how that ends in this video. I'll give it a couple hours, because y'all are usually in right away. So I'll give it a couple hours. Once it gets to around 115, 119, when I know that's about what it usually does, sometimes 154. But once it hits 100, I'll start counting the votes, and I'll go for it. Based on that, I'll go for it, or whatever y'all think I should do. I mean, y'all know it doesn't matter to me. It's up to y'all. So it's like this highway thing, you know, so many of y'all have stepped in to offer to be there and drive some stakes. It's so amazing with the support. Some of y'all have donated money. That's truly amazing. $40, Janice, $20, Smiley's World, 100, and I think it was 100, ended up being 108 after the fees from Joan Page over in the UK. Shout out to her. Like, it's just been, you know, that's really kind of been what's done it, and then a couple of my buddies. But you know, that's still better than nothing so far. And I haven't really pushed it that hard. So we'll see what happens with it. But I got some other videos that are almost done. I think it had 1 hour and 7 minutes that I did this morning at like 5:36. But, you know, I just wanted to come on and really go over these few things, because the shoes, the drive that morning, the flashlight video, all these things we really got to look at. The flashlight video hasn't surfaced, so I don't believe they've debunked that at all. I think they've tried to protect that video so much. Do I think it's gonna break the case, that video? No. I've always thought that was a setup to make it look like this kid left, right? I really do believe that's what it is, and I think that's what they think it is. And that's why he said, play a role later, down the road. Like, once we get all the information, then I can play the role. But once we can prove that this happened the opposite direction, and this was a decoy and a setup, then yeah, it'll play a role, right? I do believe that. I believe it'll be part of the case file. I think it is. I think Nick Barris already let us know it's part of the Sebastian Rogers case file. So I've said that's important from all along. And the trash truck and everything we've heard about it, that's protection to me. Because, you know, Chris and Katie's PI proved that was the trash truck. Remember, 513 or whatever, he said, here's the trash truck. And he said that he did say that there was flashlights, and they were hopeful in the flashlight video. That's what he said. But then they tried to change and edit and turn it 60 degrees and have a man walk with a flashlight across the parking lot or whatever they did. You know, I don't remember. But that was way off from the original footage. And I think some of that stuff surfacing now that they did, that they recreated, and people are thinking that it's the original, and I think it's from their recreation. But that's just my opinion. I'll leave it at that, right? Do I think, I've let y'all know that already by email. I think that those new ones are not legit. If you look at a couple of the boards in that gazebo, you know, AI always leaves something off. If you go look at the pole, the white poles that go down in that gazebo in that picture, when it's blown up, look how some of them, 2 of them don't touch the bottom. There's like a gap there. You can see through it. Just, you'll see what I'm saying when you look. That's why I was like, I don't think that's real. You can see the outside edge of a computer, like a laptop too, that somebody took the picture off of or filmed it off of. I always thought that that was their recreation when they were recreating that video, and that's just now emerging, showing. I think little things like that are going to start popping out because I think they're leaking it. Because they're the ones that tried to change the angle of the flashlight video. Why would the prophets try to change the angle by 60 degrees? They wanted that common area to be out of their view. But remember where law enforcement set up their computers and all that high-tech gadgets. Remember that. Think about that. They set up those gadgets facing that common area, if I'm not mistaken. Why? They say, oh no, it's nothing. Then why would they spend all that high-dollar money on that equipment to film that area in 3D? You make that make sense. See, a lot of people don't think about these little things. Think about it, it's important. Why would they do it? If the video is nothing, why would they do it? I'm telling you, they got more than y'all think they got. I'll leave it at that. I'm ready to go home. I'm tired. I'm hurting. I need some ibuprofen. Oh, don't make me laugh. No, I am feeling a lot better though. My ribs are feeling a lot better. I can move a lot better. Ruby's just laying there looking at me. You've been a good girl. Anyway, remember, allegedly, these are my opinions, my thoughts, my theories, my free speech. Allegedly, take it as a grain of salt. We're just trying to learn. I mean, everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. We know that. I'm not saying anybody's guilty here. We don't have that yet, right? We can go based on our opinions. And my opinions, yes, I think they're guilty of sin, but that's my opinions. Can we prove that? No, it's not proven yet. Law enforcement hasn't told us, hey, we're making an arrest, right? So we can't go there yet. When that day comes, of course, still, I think we're still going to have to look for Sebastian. That's why I say we can't give up. We got to paint that town green, then we got to go next door and paint Summer's little town purple, and we got to go somehow and get all this stuff to Jack and Lily. We're trying. We've got a couple of people over there we're working with by email. Shout out to them that I think is going to be able to do this for us and get this stuff done and get them down that roadway. The pink, blue on one side, pink on the other for little Jack blue. We're going to do dinosaurs and strawberries. There's a lot of stuff coming up. Just wait. We're just leaking a little. I just leaked that. I shouldn't have leaked that yet. I know I'm going to get in trouble. And they might even cut that out. I know they've been cutting out certain things. Dang it. I don't want my videos edited. Sometimes I do slip little things. I don't know if I'm supposed to say we're supposed to do the highway blue on one side and pink for Lily on the other side yet. But yeah, so I did look at the patterns today. They sent me of the dinosaurs and the strawberries. I'll leak that. Heck, if they get mad, they get mad. And then I think about Jack and Lily too every day. Just like I think about little Summer Wells, just like I think about Sebastian. Just like we think about Celeste Rivas and justice for this girl. You know, that new picture has emerged. You can see her down there on the bottom. I've had that photo for a while, but I wasn't going to do it. But if you also look at that photo of Celeste Rivas down below him on the stage, look at his hand. He has a wedding ring on his finger, right? I already did a picture. I'll show you tonight later. I've already blown it up. You can see Celeste by another girl down there on the bottom right. And then you see him on the stage. He's kind of standing with a little slumpy shoulders. Look at his left wedding hand. He has a wedding band on his finger. Let's see it in the photo. What is that? No, ma'am. I think it's a dog coming. I hope not. Anyway, these clouds are beautiful tonight. I hope we don't get any rain. But anyway, we love y'all guys. And remember, trigger warning sounds 100 million. And y'all's comments are y'all's and y'all's alone, not to reflect the channel. We do our research together. We are a big heart little family, guys. We love y'all. We thank y'all so much. Today I've been so swamped. So much stuff has been going on lately, and with everything coming and going crazy and searches that we had to do, I'm going to release some of those little by little in the next couple of days. I got like 17 videos I got to go through. I got to see which ones I want to load. That's my problem. I have so many videos, I don't know which ones to load. Because I do a lot of 10-minute here and there, 20-minute here and there too. Like when I'm at work and I can't, you know, I can just kind of chill and walk away a little bit from the noise. I can film a little bit and film the clouds, whatever, right? Just little things like that. But y'all be good, y'all be safe, and thank y'all for y'all support and help. And like I said, we only need like $158 or $57 or $6, whatever right now. So if y'all got a couple bucks, throw it in the Cash App. I'll put it on the top of the thumbnail. It's that $ Richard McKinney 29. I don't know how that works. I'm sure y'all don't know how Cash App works, but that's it. And I also put the PayPal on the screen. All you gotta do is click it and open it up or scan it with your phone. Y'all know what y'all do. Anyway, if y'all got a couple extra dollars, throw it in. We're close. We got to the 21st. We only got a few days left. We really need to get this in if we can. I mean, if not, it's still gonna work, guys. I will tell y'all that. So if you can't do it, don't do it, please. I don't want you sending anything if you can't. Your love and support and comments and well wishes, emails is enough to me. It makes my heart feel good to read all that good stuff y'all send. Thank y'all. We do. I'm honored. I'm blessed to have all y'all here. Y'all know who y'all are. And like I said, Dorothy, she said, go ahead, tell them. I said, I already been talking about you. She's the queen of these posters. She's already getting the purple for Summer Wells, and now she knows, since I just leaked it, that she's going to have to also do blue and pink for Jack and Lily. So we're going to keep going. We got some other plans too. We're trying to do these now. I'm working with a company now where we can have little slots, be laminated, pre-laminated slots that we can just slide what we want in. So we can make new posters and reuse them. Because I think it's fair that if we can reuse at least 5,000 of them, right? Go in and take every other one out as the time goes by, thin them out a little bit and use those in other places with blue and pink or purple, or, we can start having to where we can use them more than once. I think it would be benefit to the money that we're spending, right? Plus, they look like they're made a little stronger. And they are still double-sided too. So it's kind of neato. They did a laminate on one side, laminate on the other side, and they did something in the middle around the stake, and then they did 2 sleeves on each, one in on each side, so you can slide pictures in on each side without seeing the stake. That's the new pictures I got. So this one I think is going to be more beneficial to use in the future ones. A lot of these have already been done for Sebastian for months, so they're almost ready to go, right? So we couldn't change these, it would really tamper and slow down the process. So I was like, we'll just stick with what we got in this. And then what we'll do is, after this has, been up for 6 or 7 months, if they start blowing over or moving, we'll go take a few out and thin them, restake a bunch where we leave up plenty. And then we'll send those other ones in and have them put the 2 laminates on them. And then we can use them in another thing as we go, right? Just so we can as long as we keep enough going all the way down that highway for Sebastian, you know what I mean, on both sides, then, one every 10 feet as time goes, start moving a few out to where it's not so many and people start getting mad at us for having so many out there. Then we'll thin them out a little bit and then send those off. They said they'll redo those for a certain price. I think it was $2.13 a piece if we did the both laminates on each side. So we're trying to get it to where we can get at least a certain amount at first, maybe 1,000 of them that are interchangeable. That'd be a couple grand. And then we would have those where we could use them for any of these posters. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Dorothy. Boom to you too. I see you, girl. Thank you so much. Yeah, like I said, Dorothy, you can get to her in the comments or email. She'll probably post her email for y'all if y'all ask in the comments. Y'all can email her if y'all want to help her with anything in Summers or Jack and Lily's or any of that. I just threw the Jack and Lily on you. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I probably wasn't supposed to throw it on you yet, but I just did. Sorry, Dorothy. But you're the best. You are. Keep it up. Thank you so much. And all of y'all, right? I got a ghost that sends me pictures every day. I got some ghosts over in the UK, some good people. Honored and blessed to know. Just amazing here. We love it. But anyway, support these kids. Let's light up these highways. I knew it was gonna grow. I knew I was gonna end up slipping and telling y'all about all the other ones, so I might as well just say it now. They'll be on the thumbnail, all their faces. We plan on doing something for all these and more. We're working on 5 other ones now. Some of them are older cases. One of them's 15 years old. Y'all can probably guess who that is. Little K-Ron. We're working on some other stuff for other ones. And that's why we need to get some of these interchangeable ones so we can swap them out and we can just ship them down there with them ready to go and get the people that are working in those groups and organizations that we're reaching out to for people like K-Ron, and they can get them out and help get them out, and we can come maybe and help them in a day, put them out too, right? So that's what we want to try to do, is just make a movement in all these cases. Bring it back to life. That's what it's about. Give them life again. Some of them are still have life. Just give them stronger life, like Sebastian. When you heat it up, and we start with neon green, and we go to purple, or we go to pink and blue, or we go to green, or we go to whatever the color may be. But let's make the movement happen. It don't work if we just talk about it and don't do it. We got to act. Stand up. We got to act. So y'all locals, man, come on, give us the okay. We got a few of y'all left. I want to know everybody's on board, because I don't want to put a sign in somebody's yard that don't want it there. I don't want to do that. And I understand some people might not want a sign in their yard. I get it. But if y'all, there's only a few left. We're waiting on a few others. I did call the school again, so she said she'll let him know again, and she's pretty sure he'd get back to me soon. So thank you again. Sorry to bug you so many times, but we do need answers quickly. I need all the answers by the 21st, because that's the deadline right now. So I'm working on that. Only got a few more days. I will figure out how to get it if I got to go down there in person. All right, guys, I'm not giving up. I don't quit. Y'all know that. Uh-oh, airplane. What? How lucky are we to have an airplane while we're on the phone, while we're doing a video? That's so cool. Man, that's so cool. That could be any of y'all flying over right now, huh? Where'd it go? There it is. Anyway, guys, we love y'all. Trigger warning times 100 million. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. We know that. And allegedly, these are my thoughts and opinions. And we're educating. We're trying to learn here. So take it as a grain of salt. And what else? That's it, right? Trigger warning's done that. Done it all, right? Everyone's innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. We're not saying anybody's guilty. We don't know. Our opinions are different than facts. So as for our opinions, yes. Facts, no. We don't have no facts yet that they're guilty, but in our opinions, we have our opinions. And some of us think some are guilty, some of us think they're not. So that's what's good about everybody having their own dang opinion, and me not having to ask y'all's opinions unless y'all want to share it, right? If y'all want to share it, share it. If you don't want to share it, I understand. Still love you the same. Still hug you the same, right? I'm a big hugger. I can't help it. Even my ribs hurt. I'm a big hugger. So y'all be good. Y'all be safe, guys. And we will talk to y'all tomorrow or tonight sometime, okay? So y'all be good. And just say the prayers for these cases. These kids need all our prayers, right? They do. They really do. So with that said, we will talk soon. Love y'all, guys. Talk soon, guys. Bye.